All right, Amanda, it's been great chatting with you. We've had a moment to discuss a little bit off camera. I'm excited to speak to you about this opportunity and to get to know your professional experience. So, I would love for you to kickstart our interview. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your professional experience.
I've worked on the phones a lot. I've always been in customer service since I was like 15. My last job in a call center was actually for the OptumRx project. So I can say all the fun words. I can say escitalopram and atomoxetine. And I can also know when I need to contact a pharmacist or if I need to contact just a customer service person to get it through. Honestly, the
Awesome.
ability to navigate automated menus is really great.
That's
um,
right.
I'm always happy to be in customer service. I like having that relationship with people, and I like establishing being part of something significant. I want to feel like when I go home that I'm doing something great. I'm making the world a little brighter for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that introduction to, your professional experience, Amanda. I have your resume pulled up here and, primarily you mentioned that your medical experience, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but you have worked in the medical field. Tell me a little bit more about your experience with that, right? Because you gave me a brief description about, what you've done, but tell me into depth about what you've done over at Optic.
When I was working with Optum, a lot of what I did was working within their systems to confirm everything and from benefits to
Mhm.
what the deductible is, what you're paying each month, and breaking it down so people were less worried, less stressed about it. I'm really confident with that, with the lexicon that goes with it. And I feel like I can bring something special to the group dynamics.
Absolutely. That's right. And tell me a little bit more about what your day-to-day looks like over at Optum.
I would go in, I'd log into my systems. When I started taking calls, I
Mhm.
always had to start with explaining who I was. I would get the 3 points they had to confirm, whether it was name, address, date of birth, or their phone number, date of birth, and address. It was always a little easier to go that way than using something like a social security number. I really enjoyed it because it was something significant. I got a lot of really fun skills from there that I've been able to use in other customer service positions that I've had.
Absolutely. And I know that we spoke a little bit off the camera here, but you also have the medical billing as well as the insurance verification. Tell me a little bit more about your experience with those two.
A lot of stuff that ended up getting denied was things that it's just the billing code was wrong. And I became really, really good at looking at stuff that was covered and be like, oh, you put an A at the end. There wasn't supposed to be an A there. Or, oh, this is just a typo, which is usually the problem with billing.
Oh,
And being able to do stuff like that, I was able to get people
amazing.
things they didn't realize they had. I was able to get people benefits for their insulin. I was able to get them therapies within hospitals because I could look and say, "Oh yeah, this program you're enrolled in does cover that." And just being able to call in and ask has helped me out a lot. I was able to get my son speech therapy that he needed because I knew the right questions to ask. It went very smoothly. And being able to build that relationship with the pharmacists, with the people that specialized in the coding, it helped me bring that same sense of ease and comfort to the patients that I was helping.
Yeah, and I love how you were able to, with your knowledge, you apply that to your life as well with your son, as we kind of spoke about before the call here. And so tell me a little bit about, your experience with I would say that correlates to your experience with the medical, or I'm sorry, the insurance verification, right? Tell me about that.
Well, I was always really surprised at how much information you can get, but having the information right away always made everything a lot easier to confirm it. I actually was part of what we called the Carve Out program at one point as a team lead. So I was able to learn about verifying from one organization to another organization. It's going to be a little bit different. And it just was smoother when I had the stuff ahead of time. I was able to look at it. I was able to do warm transfers, which I always like doing because a lot of times people feel helpless, and I want to give them that power, that comfort of knowing they can rely on me, and just making things easier, just that little bit of extra communication.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And you've worked in a few industries. Right now, you are currently working at a bookstore and you're looking to get back into the medical field. I would love to know, do you remember any systems that you've used in the medical field at all?
I used Iris a lot. That was one of the primary systems we used for confirming benefits and whatnot. And I also used another internal program.
Yeah.
But I've always been very good at picking up programs. I worked at Evergreen previously. I've worked at a few different call centers through my temp work as well. And a lot of times programs have the same rhythm. They're not exactly the same, but they follow the same patterns and stuff like that. So navigating the system is always something that I've enjoyed because I'm still a little familiar with it. I don't know if that makes as much sense as I think it does.
Absolutely. It absolutely makes sense. And since we're talking about systems and or using the computer and whatnot, we know that this role requires scheduling, right? So how are you able to coordinate the scheduling when it comes down to perhaps unexpected cancellations or rescheduling? How are you able to fix a situation such as that?
So for me personally, I have done scheduling with a few different things, with things from it was Roadrunner before when I worked there, which is probably dating me a little bit too much. But I also worked as the digital transition for Spectrum as well. I worked with Evolution Flagler Heating and Air to get their tech scheduled as needed. We had a variety of tools we used, from just a Slack channel for cancellations, as well as if someone was talking to me and they said, oh, I have someone that's a little bit more in need. I would always keep them in mind to scoot them up, to reach back out to them. Start every conversation with saying who you are and who you're calling from and what you can do for them. And it makes them feel heard.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And my last question for you, Amanda. Actually, I have two more questions for you. In the next role, what do you look for from the company?
Honestly, consistency. I like routine, but I'm leaving my 2-year-old to go to work. I want to feel like I'm helping people, that what I'm doing is significant. One of my favorite things with Books A Million is we do a book drive in summer and a toy and book drive in winter. Every winter, we help foster kids through the community partnership with children get what they needed. And every summer, we pick a different place. This year, we picked Sugar Mill. They lost 10 classrooms. Every day I would come home and I'd be like, oh, I got 250 in donations. I felt really good because even if it wasn't my money, I was helping. And
Yeah, that's
being
exactly.
significant, making the world a better place is my real goal.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's where your passion lies, right? You want to be fulfilled in your role ultimately. And so hopefully that's where we can get you on your next role there. Amanda, my last question for you. When were you looking to start a new position? How soon?
I can start as soon as Monday if you need me to. I'm always happy to jump in. And I look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely. Well, man, it truly has been a pleasure speaking to you. I appreciate your time, but don't hang up on me quite yet. I want to continue chatting with you really quickly.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.